you, Mr. Haney. Appreciate your comments.
Here to answer any of them?
Anyone else?
My name is Janine Peter, and I live at 216 Mississippi Avenue. I am 2 houses away. And I just wanted to ask you today, if you could tell me what is going to be 80 feet from the back of my home. I've heard rumors, but that's what they are, they're rumors until I hear it from you all. So if you could tell me what's going to be behind my home, I would like to know that today. I would like to hear that from the council.
To be honest with you, I don't know. I don't have anything to do with the Bradley property.
Were there plans?
Mr. Kennedy, would you like to approach on this?
Address the council?
We can't hear you.
Address the people who's paying for it.
With the microphone.
The area that Bradley.
I don't think that was working.
Look at us instead of them.
The Bradley property. The Bradley property, the potential development down there would be additional rail line. So you have a rail line, it would be additional rail line.
Rail loop, a rail loop.
Yeah, a rail loop.
Let the gentleman speak, please.
And that's it? Mr. Kennedy, can I ask you if that's going to be a 24-hour operation on that rail line?
I would suggest the current rail line is 24 hours.
It actually is not. It's a local unit out of Union Pacific. It is not a 24-hour.
You're telling me Burlington only runs when
Actually, the UP picks up and drops off behind our home, and that's actually like 1 or 2 locals a day because my husband works for UP and he runs that part of the track.
I know Burlington's 24.
That's right. So this will be a 24-hour rail operation. Can you tell me approximately how many trains will be running a day through that area?
Absolutely no, I don't know.
Okay. And can you also tell me what is planned for the field? And be honest. What is planned for Bradley Field?
There will be a rail loop, a rail line.
In addition to that.
In addition to that, there'll be barge port development.
Okay, will that also be a 24/7 operation?
Yeah.
And the conveyor belt?
The conveyor belt will be over by the river. That's about a quarter of a mile away.
Okay. And for the slag piles, is there any, where do you plan on putting those?
There won't be any slag piles.
Because I would just like for you to know that, and I guess for the council, that this is where my children play. I'm 80 feet from what's going to be happening in my backyard. Okay, when I bought my home, none of that existed. I have a 7-month-old and a 3-year-old. So if they're constantly being awoken in the night because the rail's coming through and the barges are there and the noise and the traffic, and I mean, how is that going to be a great place to raise my family, where I was born and raised? Mr. Kennedy, were you born and raised in Crystal City? Do you have any pride in this community at all? Or are you in it for yourself?
I really don't know how to answer questions.
Well, exactly. But, Mr. Kennedy?
You're afraid to ask.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, can I interrupt?
Yes. Councilman Meade, you may have the floor.
There's no use for personal attacks on Mr. Kennedy.
There was no attack.
You people want to be heard, but you don't want to hear anybody else. I'm telling you, there's no reason to be personal attacking Mr. Kennedy. There are going to be trains down there. There's trains that go by there every day now. Do not tell me there's no trains going by. I live up on a hill, and I hear them at 6:30 in the morning, but don't make out that there's no trains.
This meeting will come to order.
Can I finish?
Please.
Maybe you're
Yes,
maybe
Judy,
switch
you
houses.
have the floor.
I really addressed you and the council. So I didn't ask for Mr. Kennedy to get
I
up
know
and give
that.
me any explanation, so I wasn't trying to personally attack him. But he's the one that started addressing my question. So the question was really to you all. And I think you guys probably do know the answer to what really is going to be behind my home. And I feel as a taxpayer and a community member that I have the right to know how my kids are going to have to grow up. Because if that's the case, I can't contaminate them. I can't put them out there to be polluted. My house is going to be completely a mess at all times. I mean, there's going to be all this traffic, the noise, and when my babies are sleeping at night, I mean, it's just not going to be a great thing. So I hope that you guys are thinking about families when you do all of these things behind closed doors that you do. And I really hope that you're thinking of what's in the best interest of the citizens. Because you know what? I really would hate to put my house up for sale. I love my home. It's historical. I had a photographer come and photograph my family on Saturday. They were absolutely taken away by the breathtaking views down Mississippi Avenue. And I had to tell them. They asked about the signs, and I said, you know, you might want to take your pictures now, because in a few years, it won't be a pristine place to live anymore. We won't be able to sell our homes because no one will want to live behind a huge conglomerate thing that's going to be happening behind my hometown. And you
Mrs. Buter, I will say this, I have been in, I have been notified by American Building. Yes, when they first approach us, it's just like anybody else throughout business as far as confidentiality. Now listen to me.
It's not mine anymore. He is addressing me.
I am addressing, and I do have the floor, and this will be in orderly fashion, please. Now, I have spoke with American Building, and they have Mr. Dave John and Brent Baker, and they have told me, don't worry about any confidentiality with us, because we have been looking at the site for 20 some odd years. We are going to do what we need to do, we want to do. We are a Bridgeport operation, a Barsport operation, I'm sorry. That's what the gentleman told me. He also told me that there would not be any slag piles down there, because when his material's on the ground, and it has to go on the ground, then he is not making any money. He's not transporting anything if it's laying on the ground. That's honestly what this gentleman told me. He's giving me, I've got the floor, ma'am. He's giving me pictures of it. Janine, I've got them here. I've given them to you. There will be a conveyor belt out there on the other side, right off the river, but I don't know what else to tell you, Janine, because I don't have the plans or anything. They have not been submitted.
Don't accept it.
Do you have the pictures of what's going to be in the backyard?
She can have my package.
You just said you